Time.com this week interviews Tim Gunn. He's our 10 questions victim. And welcome. We're really pleased to have you.
Well, Tim Gunn is absolutely, completely floored and exhilarated and thrilled to be here.
Well, let's get right into it. We have questions from all over the country and all over the world. The first one comes from Chicago. Have you ever wanted to kick a participant off Project Runway? Which contestant most twisted your, albeit stylish, knickers?
Oh, I have to say, every season there's been someone, but among the collective seasons, there's one person who wins the prize for most irritating, most annoying, and most kickable. Vincent Libretti from season 3 wins the prize, hands down.
Darla McMichael of Berwick, Pennsylvania. She's soon to be 50, and she's 5'5", and she's size 6.
Oh.
And she's in search of a fashion sense for her body type. Now, a lot of women who are a little bigger than a size 6 wrote in asking about this, and a lot of women who are a little older. I think the sense I get is that a lot of them feel very marginalized.
They are marginalized.
Right.
Can I be honest? They are marginalized. And we in the fashion industry have to do better by them and for them and stop having as our muse a 19-year-old or a 22-year-old who's a size 2. It's ridiculous and limiting. I think there's no greater challenge and no greater joy than dressing real women and having them look great and feel great and be age appropriate without being dowdy, without being remotely matronly. No one has to look like that. For a pear-shaped woman, it's important to let your shoulders be your friend. And I'm not talking about shoulder pads. I'm just talking about having items of apparel that go to the end of the shoulder, have a sleeve as opposed to being sleeveless or strapless, because it will visually broaden you and mitigate the effect of the hip. That's a critical element with the pear shape.
What's the worst fashion trend you've ever seen? But you can have seen it in a book. Like, what do you think is the worst fashion trend? Sandals and socks?
Well, sandals and socks are certainly up there. Generally speaking, it's footwear trends. I mean, today, the era of the Croc, it looks like a plastic hoof. How can you take that seriously? It's fashion. The comfort trap is part of what's contributed to the decline of fashion in America. I call it the slobification of America. Whenever anyone defends their look by saying, well, it's comfortable, my refrain is, if you want to dress to feel as though you never got out of bed, don't get out of bed.
Tim, what specific style recommendations do you have for a typical American male? How can I look as stylish as you on what is probably a lower budget?
Oh, actually, I wanted to speak to budget because I also am very budget-minded and have to be. People have this misconception that I can just go out and either get anything for free or buy anything, and it's not true. People get it right more frequently, get their fashion right more frequently when they're shopping on a budget than if they just have deep pockets or a bottomless pit of a purse. Because then you don't think about, how does it fit into my wardrobe? Well, am I really going to wear this item? Or is it just impulse buying? And it's just, well, I want that, I'm going to have it. Versus shopping on a budget when you have to ask yourself those questions. Will I really wear it? Will it have more than one place in my fashion life? How does it fit into the rest of my wardrobe? I mean, questions that are really important. Fashion is really a form of semiotics. It sends a message, and this message is about how you want to present yourself to the world and be perceived. And the key to getting that right is to understand what colors, what patterns look good on you, and then it's that whole interaction of silhouette, proportion, and fit on you in particular, in your body type, and really understanding how you want to portray yourself to the world. That's it.
Michelle Obama or Cindy McCain?
Oh, no contest. Michelle Obama.
Really?
Absolutely. From a fashion viewpoint, Michelle Obama looks so comfortable and relaxed in her style and her fashion, and she exudes that. She has a presence that gives you confidence in her. And Cindy McCain looks like someone has twisted her ponytail into a knot and tried to give her a facelift.
What is your favorite thing to wear?
My favorite thing to wear? Marion, you've stumped me. Well, given the appropriateness of the occasion, there is no better feeling for me than to go to a black tie event in a classic tuxedo. It's no fail. There are no risks involved. Every man looks great in a tux. And I love those opportunities, frankly.
Tim, old chum, he says, how did you acquire such an expansive vocabulary?
Teaching.
Lots of people ask this.
Well, it really is from teaching. And also, I grew up in a household where my mother was constantly correcting my grammar and still does. And I grew up with tons of books. And I was an avid reader, and I was a nerd. Well, I still am a nerd. And I love the written word. I will reread books. I'll reread passages from books over and over and over because I love the way words look on the page. I love the sound of them. I'm a word nut. I'm a wordaholic.